Welcome back, everyone. It's already happening. Ryan Reynolds apparently already plotting his next Marvel movie in a much bigger way than we ever expected. We figured that eventually he would do Deadpool 4 at some point, or Deadpool and Wolverine 2. Just a little while ago, I did a video about things that he'd said recently, but there was a brand new Hollywood Reporter article that spelled very specifically what his next Deadpool movie was going to be, and it's much more of an X-Men based movie than I think we expected. They talk about some of the characters that it's supposed to involve and how this is supposed to work into the future of Marvel Phase 7 after Avengers Secret Wars, so we'll break this all down because there are way more details than I expected at this stage. Just based on the pitch of what he's doing, it seems like he's actually trying to set up a whole new X-Men franchise just for him that doesn't need to rely on the Deadpool character. Once you hear what he's doing, it actually sounds pretty ingenious from a business standpoint, and I'm actually kind of surprised that Robert Downey Jr. or like Chris Evans didn't try to do it themselves when they left Marvel, at least temporarily, because they're coming right back for Avengers Doomsday. But one of the big things that Ryan Reynolds said that he really likes to do, and this is actually key to what he's setting up for himself at Marvel, is that he likes writing and producing movies, making movies, just as much as he likes acting in them. So it seems like he's actually trying to set up a deal where he can be involved with his own separate franchise of X-Men beyond the Deadpool character. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. There's a bunch of big stuff coming up. We're mostly focused on the lead up to Avengers Doomsday. Now we just got through the Thunderbolts movie. I just did a whole bunch of videos like the post credits for that, so I'll post links at the end of this. But like we still have the Fantastic Four movie, and Deadpool isn't even supposed to be that big of a character in Avengers Doomsday. Originally, he wasn't supposed to be in that movie at all. Like they were just going to save him for Avengers Secret Wars until Deadpool and Wolverine blew up so big. So the way the Hollywood Reporter is explaining it, it would be Deadpool and 3 to 4 other X-Men, including Wolverine. He's writing an early treatment of the movie now, and it would release a couple years after Avengers Secret Wars and the new X-Men reboot movie. So just to be clear, this new movie that Ryan Reynolds is writing with all these other X-Men characters is not the brand new X-Men reboot movie that Kevin Feige has been talking about for the last couple years. That is meant to be Marvel restarting an X-Men-based line of movies like the main X-Men team inside the MCU post-Secret Wars in a slightly rebooted Marvel Cinematic Universe. Not a full hard reboot, but reboot in the way that most of the actors in that movie will be recast versions of the characters.
I hate you.
There's always going to be a lot of questions about how they're going to deal with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine after Secret Wars. Supposedly he's supposed to stick around a little bit longer, and they will make him do this until he's 90, but they will be recasting a brand new Wolverine for the MCU eventually. So like Hugh Jackman will not always be the main Wolverine forever. But it definitely sounds like the X-Men based movie that Ryan Reynolds is writing is more of an Uncanny X-Force movie because it would be rated R. In his own words, he said he only wanted to be 4th or 5th banana in somebody else's movie, like he would totally love to be in a Channing Tatum Gambit solo movie. That's not what this movie is. It's another X-Men based movie that Deadpool is just going to appear in as a supporting character. But they will probably put Deadpool in the title of the movie, like Deadpool and X-Force. But you remember Deadpool 2 had X-Force or a version of it, but X-Force was basically like the small cameo briefly in that movie, mostly just for a one-off joke. This time it would be much more of, say, like an X-Force type of movie or an X-Men based movie with a little bit of Deadpool in it. And it sounds like Ryan Reynolds in success plans to launch another X-Men-based franchise of movies that don't have to completely rely on Deadpool to be in every single one of the movies. Like they could do a sequel to that movie with just those brand new X-Force or X-Men characters without him. But because it's still going to take a couple years to do this, there's still a number of ways that they can include multiverse characters if he wants to bring people back. He's currently powerful enough inside the studio that like he was able to get Wesley Snipes to come back as Blade, where originally Wesley Snipes explained that he didn't think that Marvel would care about that at all. Like he'd met Kevin Feige a long time ago, Wesley Snipes had, but it didn't seem like they had any plans to ever bring him back until Ryan Reynolds started bringing it up. Ryan Reynolds was also the one that was pushing for them to do a Logan-style send-off movie for Wesley Snipes' Blade. Even though they made that big Blade movie joke about the new Mahershala Ali Blade movie in Deadpool and Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds didn't really have anything to do with them spinning their wheels on that Blade movie. That is all on Kevin Feige, the writers, the people that have been trying to make that movie. Will we ever see the Blade movie? Definitely not till after Secret Wars, if it ever does wind up happening.
And I never even got a chance to fight for it.
Part of the reason why Hollywood Reporter is talking about this now, because we were talking about this a couple weeks ago when we thought that there was going to be a Deadpool 4. Ryan Reynolds was on the Walk of Fame helping out Green Day and talking about why he put a Green Day song at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine, so I think it just snowballed out of that. Like he was just there and they were asking him all kinds of Deadpool-related questions. Their article reads, "The multi-hyphenate is working on various treatments for an ensemble film featuring 3 or 4 X-Men characters." They don't say exactly which characters, but they wouldn't be characters that are in the X-Men reboot movie that Kevin Feige is doing. This is why we say this could be an opportunity for him to do more Fox X-Men characters that he brings back that weren't in previous Marvel movies so far since the Fox era kind of ended. A lot of people want to see Josh Brolin come back as Cable. He made some jokes about Cable not testing well during Deadpool and Wolverine. This movie would be a chance to actually bring Cable back. It says Deadpool would of course appear, but perhaps only as a supporting player. Like I said earlier, Ryan Reynolds has restated this a couple different times in a couple different interviews that he would love to show up more as crossover characters in other people's movies, but he doesn't want to have to support his own solo movie the same way that he does in the mainline regular Deadpool movies, like Deadpool and Wolverine. Which is why this upcoming X-Men movie that he's working on would be more of, say, like an X-Force movie that could sustain itself without him in future sequels if everything goes well. Reynolds is said to believe that keeping his F-bomb wielding anti-hero more on the sidelines could allow for more X-Men characters to be used in unexpected ways. So this is Ryan Reynolds basically trying to help other X-Men based actors out, like really good opportunity to bring people back. Reynolds has been open about every Deadpool movie needing a strong reason to exist, and it's possible this could provide the avenue he needs. Also, another big bag of Marvel cash. They do note that this film of Ryan Reynolds is different from the potential X-Men movie that Hunger Games writer Michael Leslie is penning for Marvel Studios. That's meant to be the A-lister, regular, brand new main X-Men team movie that Kevin Feige is doing, like the new version of Professor X, the new version of the classic X-Men characters. Then they actually start suggesting some characters. I don't know how true this is going to wind up being, or if this is them just absolutely speculating off the top of their heads.
Go, 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 and not stop.
Reynolds is toying with Oscar-nominated Wicked star Cynthia Erivo, who Reynolds honored at the National Board of Review in January alongside her co-star Ariana Grande, has publicly lobbied to play Storm in the MCU. Cynthia Erivo has. I don't think she's going to wind up playing Storm no matter how fantastic she is. I do think that they want to cast somebody special for the role though, so they're waiting to cast her for a while. This is one of the reasons why you didn't see Storm show up in Deadpool and Wolverine, just because Marvel is waiting on that character, they're paying special attention to the Storm character because she's so important above a lot of other X-Men characters. They say Reynolds would need to defer to Marvel on any such casting decisions. Like I said, that's for the really big mainline A-list X-Men actors, people that Marvel plans to use in a bunch of other movies. It's a little bit easier for Ryan Reynolds to get people cast when they're just going to be in the movies that he's doing. And remember, he pitched 20 different versions of Deadpool and Wolverine to Kevin Feige before he actually said yes. It took that long to actually get Deadpool and Wolverine off the ground. But I think part of the idea is that Marvel is heading in a direction that just favors Ryan Reynolds, like the stars are aligning for him because Deadpool is thought of as an X-Men based character and he's so popular already. So if he doesn't plan on doing a complete solo movie like he would normally do, a mainline Deadpool sequel movie, X-Men movies would be way easier to get Kevin Feige to say yes to. Like we've been calling the big saga that Marvel is moving to after the multiverse saga, the Mutant saga. Cue the X-Men theme music. Now how about you give us X-Men 97 Season 2? Most of all the best ideas that I've seen people pitch for fun for movies involve major X-Men characters. Like it's just uncharted territory for Marvel, so they're not retreading all this old ground with characters that aren't quite as popular as the original Marvel Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 characters. Generally heading forward after Avengers Secret Wars is just like a big opportunity for them, which is why I think they're making such a beeline to get past Avengers Secret Wars as fast as possible. During the article, they do note that there was a planned break that he had that allowed him to do a lot of writing on a bunch of ideas like this X-Men movie idea that also coincided with the lawsuit that he got into with his wife, or because of his wife, with Justin Baldoni.
I remember seeing it and freaking out and taking a video of it.
Anytime you mention Ryan Reynolds, you sort of have to acknowledge that, like, what's going to wind up happening with that? Will that affect anything that he does at Marvel, with Deadpool character, anything Marvel related at all? Does the studio even care about that? Does Disney care about that at all? Based on where it is right now, it generally just seems like it's all going to end in a settlement, and the studio really doesn't care about that. Like, Marvel recently asked to be released from the actual lawsuit because technically they got roped into the lawsuit because of what's happening with Deadpool, Wolverine, Nicepool, and his wife. Now everybody's sort of careening down this big hill trying to find a really easy out, and it sounds like it's going to wind up in some sort of settlement out of court, the way that all lawsuits, or most lawsuits in Hollywood, wind up ending. Settle it out of court before you actually go to trial. I'll probably wait till they actually make any real big announcements about what's happening with that case, if it's settled or if they are going to court. Like, just wait a while for them to actually give some real news on it. And if there is a Deadpool video that I'm working on, I'll just tag that at the end of that video. But everyone, let me know in the comments if Ryan Reynolds is finally going to do a real X-Force movie, not just a joke about X-Force in a Deadpool movie. Who do you want to be in that film? Like, which X-Men characters, which X-Force characters do you want in that? Do you want him to bring back some Fox legacy actors too? If Ryan Reynolds winds up being successful with this is going to be like a whole new template for Marvel actors when they get super, super big. It'd be kind of like Robert Downey Jr. setting up a line of Armor Wars movies and TV series that didn't involve the Iron Man character, but that Robert Downey Jr. himself was authoring. There's a bunch of stuff happening right now. Thunderbolts just came out, like I said. Here's my post-credit scene video. Click here for that, and click here for my full breakdown of the entire movie with Easter eggs for everything. It is crazy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.